CTRLGH. Do you drive? I do drive, but really crap. When I was I've driven about 5 or 6 times, and I've crashed 5 times, and I've had to have the car towed out 2 times. So I'm not a very good driver. First time I drove, I went to my friend took me out in a paddock bashing car. I don't know, that's a term we use in Australia for a really cheap car you can just abuse and drive really fast. And he took me out to this pine plantation with all these pine trees, and there's a kind of track that weaves through it, and it's government property, government land. And we went in there and we were driving around, and he said I should take the wheel, and the axle was bent, so the car drove off the track by itself. You had to constantly turn it back. No power steering, really old shit car, and I just got the pedals mixed up, so I went around a hairpin corner. My first corner I might add was a hairpin corner. Went straight around, kept going round, went off a bank, went up and hit a tree, pretty much like that, and yeah, I had to get the car pulled out. And another time I went off another ditch, got it pulled out, so I'm a really bad driver. I might go for it again though. So, what horror films that everyone raves about have you never got around to seeing? Mine's Suspiria. This is from Cropsy208. That's hard. I can't really think of any off the top of my head. Well, a lot of people were telling me how good a slasher movie Madman was, and I don't think I've actually watched that one yet, so probably Madman. This one's from Livid Man, or Live Man, I never know how to pronounce it. If you went into horror, what film genre would you be into? Probably comedy and action, that kind of thing, martial arts. If you had to rescue your DVDs from a fire, which ones would you grab first? That's a pretty good question. Far out, I want to grab the whole damn shelf and try and carry it out, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I seriously don't know. What is it about horror films you like? I just think they're hugely entertaining. They can encompass just about every genre there is. Like I said before, sorry about that, another burp. Yeah, they can encompass just about every genre there is. They can be profoundly deep, or they can be extremely just over the top. So I just love the diversity, and I just love them to death. So yeah. Who's your favourite villain? Sorry about that. Probably Leatherface. I really like Leatherface with his whole pig grunting sounds and running around with a chainsaw. And again, he's a country boy like me, so Leatherface. Shibley182. What's your thoughts on all the remakes lately, and what one is your fave, if any? Well, remakes of the late, my favourite would be... Well, I liked The Hills Have Eyes. I didn't mind that one. As I said, Texas Chainsaw I didn't mind. So, I guess either of those two. I guess you could also pick The Orphanage, because that's a remake, but I'm not going to do that. Rosso. If you had loads of money, Rosso 1000, sorry. If you had loads of money to make a horror film, what kind of story, style, location and choice of famous actors would you choose? Etc. A slasher giallo with a bunch of teenagers. I think this is just his one here. His ID for one. I'll probably do slasher movie, as I said, that country boy one. So a slasher movie set in the countryside with a bumpkin as the killer, wearing a mask, sack over his head, and he's got a scythe and all that kind of country farm gear, and yeah, he just takes off tearing through the paddocks and fields and stuff after his victims. So yeah, a bit like Texas Chainsaw. This one's from Raining Blood 2112. Are you a fan of Eraserhead or any David Lynch films? Yeah, I am. Eraserhead was, I think, my second David Lynch movie that I watched after Blue Velvet, and I watched that when I was younger. So it's stuck with me. I've watched just about every movie there is, except for his earlier shorts, which I need to get that big box set, but it's about $140 here. So yeah, I love David Lynch movies. This one's from DVD Movie Buffer. What is your favourite After Dark horror, After Dark Part 3 series? And it goes on. I haven't actually watched any series Part 3 After Dark movies, so yeah, have to get back to you on that one. This one's from Ryan, 1988. What would you consider to be the best century for any type of horror films and why? I'd say I guess with century you mean best decade, so I'd say 1970s, easy. How often do you order DVDs from the internet? This from Big Ugly Yeti. I'd say it depends again. Sometimes it's a few times a week, sometimes it's not for about 3 weeks or 2 weeks, so it really depends. The Horror 86. Probably already been asked, but what's your favourite exploitation film? Well, exploitation is a really broad term, so I don't know. That one's I love anything from cannibal, zombie, low grade slasher movies. I love I Spit on Your Grave and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of films out there it could be. Douglander. What's your favourite high school teen comedy and why? I've never been into high school teen comedies. Whether I've never been to the ones from the 80s, like 16 Candles and all that. Never been into that kind of film. Not into the whole American Pie stuff now, so I don't think there's any. If one counts, Napoleon Dynamite, does that count? Because that's high school, so I'd pick that. Nick Carroll, 66. What made you want to create DVD collecting videos? Well, basically monkey see, monkey do. I really liked watching other people's ones, so I wanted to make my own, and I wanted to talk to people about this kind of stuff that like talking about it, so that was my main motivation. How long have you collected horror movies? I'd say seriously for the last maybe 2 years, and been collecting them on and off for about the last 5, so yeah. Thanks. Alright, and I did have a question from, I wrote this down ahead of time, from Vlogging Bastendo, and I'll answer them now. How many DVDs do I own? Well, about 800, I'd say. And if I could make a spoof movie, what would I spoof? I don't know. Horror's a pretty fertile territory for spoof movies, so I don't know. I really don't know. I'd say, well, the whole slash thing's kind of been done before with Scream and all that kind of thing, so I might go, it's got to be a serious movie, doesn't it? I really don't know. I'm sorry, I really don't know. And this one's another one that was asked on another video of mine, but I think was intended for my Q&A one. It's from Red P4383. 5 glorious moments in horror movies. Well, the lawnmower scene in Brain Dead, the head exploding scene in Scanners, the shotgun head blown off scene in Maniac where he jumps up on the car. I know I'm trying to think off the top of my head, and that's all I can really think of that are really stand out. So yeah, that's probably going to have to be it. I can't really think of anything else, and it's going to have to be it for my Q&A video. I hope you enjoyed it. So anyway, yeah, thank you for everyone for asking questions and everything. Hopefully this wasn't too boring, and I wasn't, too crap. So if you want to ask me more questions, I might do one in a few more months. So yeah, cheers for watching, and thanks everyone that asked questions, and Jarashut out.